By age 7, we want your child to have the S, Z, TH, like think, the ch sound, ja, and the R, plus all previous sounds. So refer to the speech and language milestones. So to teach the TH, the ch, and the ja, I'm going to give you a few strategies. To teach the TH sound, the most common error kids will make, they will say I'm free instead of 3. They'll usually substitute the F for the TH. So we have to remind them that TH, to make the sound, they need to bite their tongue, gently bite their tongue. So you're going to tell them, watch when I say think, watch, my tongue comes out and my teeth are on it. I have to gently bite it. Think. Ooh, try it again, watch mom. Think. So really just showing them, stick their tongue out, you can make it fun. Watch, stick your tongue out at mommy. Now bite your tongue and blow. Good job. So instead of, are you free or are you 3? I'm 3. So that's a simple strategy to help teach that sound. To make the ch sound, that one's a little harder. Again, we don't expect it until all the way in until age 7. To teach the ch, that's kind of made in the middle of your mouth, and it's a combination of the T sound and the sh, ch. So I usually just go to the middle of my cheek and I just show them their tongue has to pull down. Ch, ch, chew. I use the same strategy for the ja. Cha and ja are the same. Cha is voiceless. Ch, ja is voiced. J. So j, j, jump. Ch, ch, chew. That's helpful for a lot of kids. One of the most helpful cues you can give your child to make the S and Z sound. We usually start with the S, that's the easiest. If you can get S in, Z oftentimes will come in because S and Z are cognates. S is voiceless, Z, you do everything the same as S, but you turn on your vocal cords. So S, Z. So we usually start with just teaching the S sound. So a very helpful cue is to smile and close your teeth. S. You have to make sure that your lower lip is down. Otherwise, you're going to get a fuzzy S. Most kids have a frontal lisp, which is the Cindy Brady lisp. Thoop. That's where their tongue comes out between their front teeth. There's also a lateral lisp, which is when air is out the side. Thoop. That air is a little trickier, a lot harder to correct, and you're probably going to want to work with a professional on helping your child produce that sound. There's some strategies you can use, like a straw to help with the airflow, but a professional will be able to help you and your child further acquire that sound, especially with that tricky lateral lisp. So to make the S sound, the air is going to come right up through the vocal tract, through the middle of your mouth, and out the front. Your tongue usually is going to be up right behind your front teeth, not quite touching though. So feel when you make the S. Goes right up behind your front teeth, but doesn't quite touch all the way. But for most kids, by simply telling them to smile and close their teeth, that's very helpful. You watch in the mirror and say, don't let me see your tongue. I can't see your tongue come out. It has to stay back. Good, I didn't see your tongue at all. Let's do it again. Uh-oh, what happened? I saw your tongue. Close your teeth. Smile and close your teeth. Try it again. So that's one of the most helpful cues you can use to teach the S and the Z sound. You can check out my other video on how to teach those sounds in a hierarchy. The R sound is one of the trickiest sounds to teach. Most of the other sounds are very visual. You can see what your lips are doing, what your tongue is doing, what's going on. But with the R, you can't see what's happening with your tongue. So it's a very complex, complicated sound. So you can see if your child is stimulable to make the R sound. That means that they can do it if you give them a model. Sometimes they can just do it off of an auditory model by just listening. Can you do the fire siren sound? Listen. If they can do it, they're stimulable. You might be able to work with them on it a little bit. Sometimes kids can also use the strategy of just be sure to put your tongue way up and way back. Watch. If they can follow a model and do it off the R, they're stimulable, and you might be able to start to work with them on sounds by themselves, the sound in syllables, sounds in words. The most important thing with the R sound is that the sides of your tongue, the lateral sides, are going to push up against your molars in the back. So go ahead and say the R sound. So concentrate, and you can feel the sides of your tongue pushing up against your molars in the back. Most common error for kids is that they'll do W for R. So instead of rabbit, it's going to be wabbit. Their tongue is down. They're not touching their molars. Sometimes you can put your fingers here and say, touch my fingers. Sometimes you can touch the sides of their tongue, touch the inside of their molars and say, make those touch. Or you can teach them to go from the I sound like I. When you say I, your tongue is in the correct place. They can watch in the mirror. I. And you'll see when you make that I sound that the sides of your tongue are touching your molars in the back. So if some of those strategies work for your child, you might be able to get a good R. If your child's not stimulable for the R production, they most likely will need to see a speech and language therapist to help them get that sound in. And make sure to always contact a speech therapist or your pediatrician if your child is not meeting any of their speech and language milestones. One more suggestion for the R. Sometimes it works to do the growl. Grrr. They can do a growl like a bear. Grrr. That's the beginning of the R sound. So I hope you find some of these strategies helpful.